Thanks so much for waking up with us. It is Wednesday morning, August 5th. I'm Pat Simon.
Obviously, something terribly wrong happened, so Congressman Gates and others say they're going to look into it to make sure that those who help protect us are protected themselves.
There used to be a home here. There used to be people living here. One of those people died at this home.
Right now, I'm in one of the restricted areas here at Redstone. They call this RSA 68, and this hazardous chemical disposal area. What they're trying to do is clear out this land and reclaim it for new purposes.
Brooks didn't even know Officer Clardy, not even how he died, only his bravery. And that was plenty enough for this young boy to travel over 100 miles just to get here to Huntsville to make a very special delivery. All right, 5:24. Welcome back, everyone. New information this morning. NCAA Division III championships for fall sports are now canceled. The Division III President's Council says it made that decision due to the pandemic and financial challenges. The chair of the President's Council said, quote, "Looking at the health and safety challenges we face this fall during this unprecedented time, we had to make this tough decision to cancel championships for fall sports this academic year in the best interest of our student athlete and member institutions." This morning, one big question that we hear from parents right now: how will school districts decide if they should close again because of coronavirus? 2 North Alabama school districts are preparing to return to class tomorrow in just about 24 hours. Limestone County and Jackson County schools start their first day of the brand new school year. Both districts offer traditional and virtual learning options. They're the first 2 to head back in North Alabama. Several other districts plan to start next week. But some districts are pushing back their start dates. Albertville City Schools is the latest district to move its first day. Students there will now go back on a staggered schedule starting August 24th. 5:07, you are taking a live look at Capitol Hill this morning. Congressional leaders are still mulling over a new stimulus package. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer will meet with White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows and Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin for the 7th time today. They say they'll try to make a deal by the end of the week. We'll be talking, by the way, to Senator Doug Jones in our 6 o'clock hour this morning to get an update on that stimulus package. In the meantime, this morning, we're checking your investments. Stock futures are up by 60 points right now. Overseas, stocks are mixed. Investors are keeping a close watch on whether lawmakers can come to an agreement on that fresh stimulus package. As the heat returns, today, by the way, friends, is National Root Beer Float Day.
Yeah, not a bad day with the heat to kind of cool off in the afternoon.
Sitting on the patio.
Yep.
Now, we were talking earlier, Coke float, right?
Yeah.
Or do you prefer the root beer?
I'll take
I like
root beer.
Yeah. Moderation.
Casey, thank you so much. Joining us right now live via Zoom, Limestone County Superintendent Dr. Randy Shearhouse. Dr. Shearhouse, good morning and welcome.
Good morning. Thank you so much.
You bet. A big day for you folks. Here we are, this new normal. First day of school has arrived. For parents, students, and teachers watching right now, what do you tell them about your very thorough preparations that you made for them to return to a safe environment? We know you talked to a number of teachers, you've talked to a number of parents. What do you tell those parents who might be a little concerned that their kids may get sick at school and even perhaps bring that virus home? Ashley, thank you so much. The Jackson County Superintendent also says he anticipates 20% of students will choose the virtual option this coming school year. Students who do go back to school are encouraged to wear masks on the bus and in class, but not required. Now, under Governor Kay Ivey's mask order, every student older than 2nd grade has to wear one at least through August 31st. All employees must wear masks as well. And during this school day, the cafeteria will not be over 50% capacity, and there won't be any field trips this year. A lot of things different this year. 6:16 now happening today. It's the deadline for Congress to reach that deal on a new stimulus package. The president says if there is not an agreement today, he will take executive action. 6:23 right now. Way 31 is your information station when it comes to back to school. Take a live look right now. This is Woodville High School. Students are set to arrive there for their first day of school, but before they walk into that building, they will have to get their temperatures taken. Teachers and students will also have to wear masks while they're inside.
Just enjoy your Pop-Tart or Fruity Pebbles and get ready to come on in.
You've been watching what we eat, haven't you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, Mr. Buckner, patience and understanding, those are the big words that we need to concentrate on as we're getting ready for a big day like this. What can you tell parents when it comes to them kind of going over, let's say, coronavirus symptoms, let's say the masking, social distancing? How can they prepare their kids for today? Dr. Feldman, we've got about 30 seconds left. We did report to this audience about a month ago, a report from Baylor University from Dr. Peter Hortez, the director of tropical medicine, who said that coronavirus cases are rising so rapidly that we cannot even do contact tracing anymore. So now we're asking students to sign up for this for contact tracing. Can you kind of differentiate between what he is saying to what we're trying to do here?
Yes, absolutely, and that's a great question.
We are learning more about the testing demand here in Madison County. Huntsville Hospital CEO David Spiller says demand over the past few weeks has dropped. He says it's down 20% from 2 weeks ago. That decrease is causing the hospital system to change its testing routine. And that has affected the hospital's mobile testing clinic. It will be at Alabama A&M University later on today, but the hospital system won't be testing tomorrow or next Monday due to the drop in demand. The site will be at the Lewis Cruz Stadium from 9 to 1 or until supplies last. You're asked to enter the stadium from Memorial Parkway. There you see Governor Kay Ivey getting ready to give an update on coronavirus pandemic in Alabama, the safer at home order, the mandatory mask policy. We understand that she's possibly going to be extending that order. Let's listen in to the governor. So get this, folks, from second grade through college, the governor says part of this new plan, the extended plan, it will include mandatory wearing of masks to those students in school. So again, Governor Kay Ivey, the big headline today, she extends that safer at home order to include state mandatory mask order. Obviously, this will have an impact on not only school districts, but also businesses as well. And we're continuing to already follow those angles for you. Quick break right now. Back with more Way 31 Midday News. Welcome back. Pat Simon here in Putnam County, Tennessee, the site of the hardest hit areas from the storms earlier this week. And in fact, I've been showing you all day this particular house here in the Ashcroft subdivision. You see that American flag that was planted by some crews that were over here, search and recovery crews. One person died in that home that was flattened there. And if we come around here and let's take a look down the road here, there are two other homes right down the street there. One of those homes had another one of these American flags. Two people died, a husband and wife there. Right next door, another person died. 4 people on this street. 4 of the 18 killed here in Putnam County. And that's how severe it was here. More disaster assistance, the president is saying, is coming to this area. He's promised that to the people here. As we've been mentioning all this morning, the people wanting to meet with the president, he's talking to leaders. He's trying to figure out just exactly how much money is needed to help people and bring them back and whole and full to not only rebuild their homes, but rebuild their lives. Wheels down, Air Force One lands in Middle Tennessee. And President Trump spent his first moments assessing the devastation he had witnessed.
There was no way that I wasn't going to stop here.
The commander-in-chief quickly turned into comforter-in-chief.
We're going to be with them all the way. And
would have loved to at least get to shake his hand and see his face.
And even though she didn't get a chance to meet him, homeowner Heather Pauk feels thankful that the president pledged more federal disaster assistance for those impacted by the storm.
You know, you almost feel guilty asking for any help because I feel like my house is still standing, but I didn't think about, deductibles and stuff like that, extra stuff out of our pocket that we don't have.
Pauk, whose home was heavily damaged by Tuesday's EF4 tornado, feels grateful to be alive.
we're still alive, able to walk out.
That's exactly how Vietnam veteran Greg Bilbrey and his wife feel. The longtime resident here in Cookville's Ashcroft neighborhood lost 4 friends and neighbors in the storm.
We, appreciate what we got until it's taken away from you.
For the first time in his life, he's homeless and has decided not to rebuild here. But for those who do plan to push ahead and rebuild here in Putnam County, the president's disaster declaration is expected to fund things like temporary housing and home repairs. The long and agonizing road to recovery is just getting started here. In Putnam County, Pat Simon, Way 31 News. Inside this small garage in Alabaster, Alabama,
11-year-old Brooks Bedsole, along with the watchful eye of his neighbor, Mr. Lee,
And then we'll peel it after we're done.
Yeah.
is working on an extra special project.
I enjoy working with wood, cutting things.
He's creating a token of his appreciation to give to the people he thinks we tend to take for granted.
I get to do something I enjoy, working on flags, but also I'm giving back to our police officers.
Brooks gave his first handcrafted American flag to a man that he respects the most, his father, Lieutenant Russell Bedsole.
So originally it was built for my dad for a Christmas present, and I saw how much it meant to him.
Soon after that, a spark ignited in Brooks to make another flag, especially after he witnessed this man, Officer Clint Blackman, being mistreated during heated protests last year.
I wanted to make a flag for him just because he was being yelled at, and it was a hard thing to go through as a police officer at that time. Thank you.
It was then that Brooks realized his hobby would now become his calling.
There's a lot more violence and gun crime.
More police officers were dying just doing their jobs.
That number it's high, really.
Too high.
Too high, yes, sir.
And that hit close to home to this kid of a cop. Maybe his flags could somehow help comfort the families of the fallen. So he started making personal deliveries.
Sometimes I have to stop and remind myself that he's only 11, that a child has put his time, his effort, and his heart into this to make this gift to give to them. Hopefully really means a lot towards the healing process that they're going through.
You said they were the same size, right?
To help raise money for his materials, Brooks had to make even more flags. So far, he's sold dozens of them through his site, American Blue Designs, just to keep up with the unfortunate high demand for his flags for the fallen.
Mom mostly says to me that it's a good ministry and you're doing this for the right reasons.
I watched him make this one for Huntsville stack agent Billy Clardy III.
I've just heard about him and I wanted to make a flag for his family.
Brooks didn't even know Officer Clardy, not even how he died, only his bravery. And that was plenty enough for this young boy to travel over 100 miles just to get here to Huntsville to make a very special delivery.
It means that he's being raised right and that he cares about those who are out there serving him on a daily basis. It means a lot to us.
I hope they know that they're loved. It's not like they're alone in this.
They know that that flag was specially built just for him, his memory, and to thank him for his service to the community.
Yes, sir.
Make no mistake, this is much more than just a flag presentation.
He's finding a way to serve others is truly amazing.
It's about duty and honor that's remembered and cherished by a child who simply wanted to do his small part to give back to those who have given all.
Bob?
To be clear,
Bob? I'm James. Pleased to meet you, James.
when we first met Bob Sawada and Jim Fiesel,
What division were you with?
social distancing
Jim, how are you?
wasn't at all
Good.
a part of our
Very
daily lives.
So nice to meet you, Jim.
Well, nice to meet all of you.
And that turned out to be kind of a blessing for this long-anticipated reunion in early March.
I think you were sent by God.
Because the reason these two men were brought here together needed to be experienced way less than 6 feet apart.
This is the people that we worshipped.
A single moment that happened 75 years ago
I was frightened, and I'll never forget that.
defined the rest of their lives.
That's when it changed, and the world changed.
Sawada was born in Poland a handful of years before the start of World War II. He saw tragedy early on as a child, witnessing the traumatic death of his parents at the hands of German soldiers.
Just imagine all of a sudden, you have no mother, no father. And the only one I had, of course, was my sister. They didn't bother her.
He was forced to work in a number of Nazi German labor camps. Eventually, he was sent here to Dachau, the longest-running concentration camp where over 200,000 political prisoners, mostly Jews, were subjected to horrific conditions, starvation, beatings, and almost 32,000 people were killed.
We wandered into a messed up world,
On April 29, 1945, Fiesel, with the 12th Armored Division, had Dachau in his sights. His commander gave the order.
He said, "Jim, put this tank through that gate." So I put the tank through the gate.
We seen him coming in. We couldn't believe it. We couldn't believe it. It was just, I don't know.
Fiesel and the Americans set free thousands of malnourished and mistreated captives, including the man sitting right next to him.
The barracks I was in was not too far away, maybe, I don't know, maybe about a couple of 100 yards.
Yep, that close, leaving them to wonder if they ever met that day 75 years ago.
I thought the possibility he could have been that man that tried to walk to my tank and didn't have enough energy to get there.
Nowadays, while we're all currently fighting the invisible enemy, sometimes losing track of our own days, you won't soon forget.
Thank God, I'm here talking to my liberator.
Why these two men have even more reason to celebrate.
I am proud of that fact,
In defeating a much different, vicious enemy, hate. In Huntsville, Pat Simon, Way 31 News.